In a hidden dungeon I missed. A legend said it appeared after defeating the demon lord, a place where no monsters roam freely and untold treasures lie hidden. In the capital of Altria, everyone was celebrating, saying the demon lord had been slain. The hero's party that defeated the demon lord had returned, and everyone looked toward them. But when they looked, they saw that Lady Nirvana wasn't there. She was known as the first saint. Everyone wondered where she could possibly be. Outside the castle walls, someone placed a bag on the ground. This was Lady Nirvana, the first saint, a martial artist at level 99. She was a member of the hero's party that vanquished the demon lord. Her fists had attained sacred mastery, earning her the revered title of First Saint. Each strike meant instant death, a single warrior worth 1,000. Her blows cracked the earth and tore the skies, a demonic fist that shattered even giants. No monster could evade her thunderous, godlike speed. Legends say her hands remained perpetually drenched in monster blood. To avenge her father, slain by a monster 10 years prior, she sought to destroy the root cause, the demon lord. That sorrowful fist had been honed by 10 long years of grueling training for this purpose. Though lightly equipped, she persistently confronted monsters on the front lines of battle, constantly skirting status ailments and injuries, even dancing with death itself. Yet her devotion to her father, that brutal fighting style, and countless near-death experiences elevated her into the warrior known as the First Saint. On this very day, she finally completed her decade-long mission. We see her smiling, blushing, and saying, "I'm going home, back to my homeland, the fishing port town of Amizu at the eastern edge." A blushing town filled with houses, boats, and a church atop a hill, a remote place at the furthest eastern point beyond the East region, east of the royal capital. It had been 10 years, and unlike her, this place hadn't changed at all. She thought to herself, "I wonder if Mom's angry, but I will live in this place, Amizu, forever. I will be the best daughter ever." The next second, the bag she was holding fell to the ground. She discovered that her former residence had crumbled to pieces, not even bricks remaining. She couldn't understand what had happened. The house. "It's impossible," she said. There were 2 graves just beside her. The first saint's mother had passed away, resting eternally with her father. Seeing this, she was deeply distressed, saying, "No way, Mom. I'm sorry. Dad, I couldn't even protect her. What were my 10 years for?" As she was consumed by depression, she passed a van, a carriage. She thought, "Was this my punishment for abandoning this beautiful town?" Someone stepped off the carriage and said, "Wait, could it be?" It looked like the boy knew her. "This is our main character," utterly flabbergasted upon seeing her. "I knew it was you," he said. Tears filled her eyes as she remembered everything from her past. He was the boy she played with, ate with, and they were even called the perfect couple. When she left, she had said, "Wait for me," calling him by name. In the present, she said, "Ryouta." The scene shifts tonight. This is now the residence of Ryouta house on the outskirts of town. Nirvana was flabbergasted, saying, "Is this your house?" Ryouta replied, "Yes, it has been 10 years since you left." Nirvana said, "You haven't changed a bit, have you?" He replied, "I have grown, maybe not where you can see." She thought to herself, "You're still the same. That's what makes me happy." She was blushing quite a bit. Anyway, he made a lot of delicious food, and she praised him, saying, "You are so incredible." We see his level, 24, fisherman, with household skills at S-class. "I've been on my own for a while, so eat as much as you want, all right?" She thought the food was so good. He was thrilled she liked it and said, "Go ahead, have as much as you want." She finished her plate and then said, "So, Mom passed away 3 years ago." The flower she saw at her mother's grave was his doing as well. He asked her, "What are you going to do next?" She replied, "I never thought about anything except living peacefully with my family." He was speechless for a moment, but then said, "I have no idea what you were doing these past 10 years, but I knew you would come back here." She couldn't understand his words, but he continued, "So, Lady Nirvana, marry me." Hearing these words, she was absolutely flabbergasted, blushing all over, unable to comprehend what was happening. She thought, Me, a level 99 martial artist, and marriage? She was blushing intensely, overwhelmed. For 10 years, all she had done was beat monsters to death, and now marriage? The level 99 martial artist had no experience points in love. She thought, I mean it, as he said, the day I couldn't save your father from the monsters, I couldn't heal your wounded heart either, my beloved. So let me protect you from now on. Let me guard your entire life. This was like a critical hit on Nirvana, who was now blushing excessively, even ovulating a bit too much. There was someone waiting for me, someone who cares for me that much, she thought, remembering her mother's words. You two make such a perfect couple. You will be wonderful together as husband and wife. I'm so relieved. She was blushing intensely, thinking, that's right, Mom wished for this too. Covering her face, she said, though I'm just a clumsy, unworthy woman, I happily accept. He was overjoyed, but she was even happier, her face flushed and eyes filled with tears. She said, yes, darling. We see that Nirvana changed professions from martial artist level 99 to somehow a wife level 1. Their marriage ceremony was wonderful, and a small happiness was born in this small town. They bought a new house, rebuilding their old, crumbling estate. Through Utah's master craftsmanship, the former Nirvana estate was reborn. He said, I thought if we lived here, your parents could rest easy. With tears in her eyes, she said blushingly, Dear Dad, Mom, I hope I'm going to be happy. Their life went on well, but now it was time for after-marriage practices. These two had zero nighttime experience, and both their hearts were thumping. A martial artist, level 99, yet still a virgin, shared her first night with a level 24 fisherman. Utah embarrassingly asked, How many children do you want? Hiding her face, she said, I will give birth to so many of Utah's babies. The whole house was shaking, and this went on for quite some time. 2 hours later, the level 99 martial artist's hips gave out. She said, I'm dying. What is this? It feels like I will die. Nirvana lost control of her hips. I never knew this kind of world existed, she thought. This was due to Utah, who had night techniques with S-class stamina, attentiveness, and hardness. His size also S-class, as it turns out. His night stats were S-class all along. She begged Utah to give her more, saying she would give birth to so many of his babies. As the church bell rang, everything was shaking, and they almost fell down. She thought it was Utah moving so hard, but it was different. Outside the house, a demonic gate had appeared, bursting from underground. Utah said, I think it's a gate, and it's enormous. She thought that thing. No way. A blinding light spoke, saying, Can you hear me? Do you hear me, children of the earth? I am a goddess. The hero slew the demon lord, bringing peace to the land. Yet this victory has broken the seal, releasing the hidden dungeon. She thought to herself, the lair of monsters, even the demon lord feared, the hidden dungeon, now unleashed upon us. The goddess continued, Here, as children of the earth, retrieve the ring of the goddess from its deepest depths. Only then can the dungeon be sealed away. I have faith in your strength. As the dungeon closed, grueling noises emerged, and dragon-like creatures poured out. Monsters had emerged from the hidden dungeon. Nirvana freaked out, saying, Monsters! The monster declared, After 1,000 years, this scent, the scent of blood. Drooling at its freedom, it said, The demon king's prison monk was taken down. This land belongs to us now. These were level 57 dragons, a level 52 white serpent, and a level 48 viper. Nirvana thought, monsters at such high levels, but they can't touch me. Fine, I will do it. Before she could act, Utah called out as a rock came hurtling toward her. Utah pushed her out of the way, taking the blow himself. Blood splattered as he fell unconscious into her arms. She said, You took the blow for me. This angered Nirvana. As the dragon approached the town along with other creatures, she gripped her ponytail tightly. Taking a pebble in her hand, she said, Return to the dungeon, you scum. The dragon didn't understand what a human could do. She warned, Go back, and I will spare you. The dragon snapped, You insolent human, Don't you dare get cocky with me when you're nothing but my next meal. With one pebble, she dismantled the dragon completely. The dark dragon was blown to bits. Seeing this, the other creatures were terrified. Nirvana stepped forward, saying, "You're worthless level 50s. Listen carefully. Get back in that dungeon and never show your faces again. Make sure you tell every monster if they dare surface above ground. They will answer to me." The monsters fled back into the dungeon, saying, "All right, we're sorry." As the dungeon shut, she thought, the monsters fled back to the hidden dungeon. She pulled out her ponytail, her long hair flowing, returning to wife mode. She said, "That takes care of things." At home, Utah finally woke up. She called out to him and hugged him. Utah said, "Thank goodness you're awake." She asked, "Are you hurt because you protected me?" She was blushing. He replied, "Oh, so I did protect you. That's a relief." She thought about how Utah protected her, blushing and flabbergasted. So that's the joy of being protected. In the hero's party, they forced me to the front line as a shield, yet he protected me, me who endured such rough treatment. In Utah's eyes, he was shielding a delicate flower blooming in the wild. She glorified her memories, so glad she became his wife. They resumed what they started before the dragon came. She thought, "I've decided he must never discover I'm a level 99 martial artist. I have to stay his utterly adorable, beloved wife." I drove those monsters back into the dungeon. There's nothing left to worry about. Tomorrow, everything will be back to normal. But that didn't happen. The next day, the court decreed the remote eastern fishing port transformed into the world's premier adventure destination overnight. Merchants, entrepreneurs, and adventurers chasing the gold rush flooded in. A full-blown dungeon bubble engulfed the town, turning it into a dungeon outpost to conquer the hidden dungeon. When Nirvana saw this, she was in a rabbit costume, an adventurer saying, "So this is the hidden dungeon the court spoke of. The treasure reeks like crazy, thief. I'll tell you what, this is a golden opportunity. We're going to make a killing, I swear. This is the Grand Trading Company." Everyone was there. She thought, what the hell? I can't understand that Quiet Amizu is being overrun by these damn adventurers. This is just like when I was in the hero's party. The peaceful happiness is falling apart fast. When she returned home, Utah was fully prepared with armor and a knife. She said, "Welcome back." She couldn't understand what was happening. What's with that outfit? It looked like Utah had become a level 1 adventurer. He said, "Actually, this morning I went out to fish, but the town was in a sorry state. On top of bait and harbor fees, all supplies became inflated for adventurers. Things got so bad I couldn't even fish properly anymore." Nirvana said, "No, wait, the fishing? Even fishing?" Utah replied, "That's exactly why I became an adventurer, to conquer that hidden dungeon as soon as possible. Clearing it will restore the town, our peaceful town where your parents rest. I swear I'll reclaim our life together with you in that town." She was blushing, frustrated, and overheating. "He always puts me first. I'm so glad I married this man. So happy I became his bride." She steeled her adventurous gaze, thinking, "Then I shall steel my resolve." She said, "What is it you've done?" He thought he heard a weird sound behind them. It was a level 42 orc monster. She tried saying, "How scary," as he looked behind, thinking, wait, something's there. She punched the orc through the entire first floor. Utah saw nothing, saying, "There's nothing here," but she hugged him, saying, "Don't scare me like that. Nothing's here. It's okay. I will protect you. You're amazing, Utah. This is love. I want to be loved as a cute wife while secretly supporting and watching over my husband from the shadows." Thus began the new raid, dungeon-crawling life of the mismatched couple. In a world where the demon lord had been slain, the hidden dungeon emerged, filled with undiscovered treasure and powerful gear that lured adventurers to its depths. Among those who dared to enter was one particular group, the wife with a secret she couldn't tell her husband, the level 1 married wife, and the level 1 adventurer Utah. But there was a catch. This level 1 wife was actually a former level 99 martial artist. 1 week after the hidden dungeon appeared, a rumor circulated among adventurers. One man said, "Hey, you heard about this? The guys who came back from scouting it out. Another replied, "What? Spill it." The first man said, "You're damn cheap." Anyway, this was overheard by a shady figure as the man explained. Rumor has it nobody ever made it past the first floor of the dungeon. Apparently, the staircase going down just doesn't exist at all. Nirvana thought to herself, I knew it all along. Even after a whole day of searching with Ryouta, it was too hard for me to find a lower level. That's something else. Ryouta was mixed up, wondering what they should do next. She realized, this is a hidden dungeon. Saving the town won't be so simple at all. Ryouta asked her, "Are you okay? If you're feeling hungry, we can call it a day." She replied, No, I'm fine, Ryouta." Ryouta got a spoonful of soup and said, "Glad to hear it. Let's dive down deep and give it our all again today." As he was about to feed his wife, she was flustered and overwhelmed by this kind gesture. She thought, wait, what is this? The legendary marital ritual? As she took a bite from Ryuta's spoon, she was blushing intensely and said, "It's so good." He replied, "Glad you like it." Their lovely moment was overheard by a shady figure who said, "Fresh meat. Adventurers in the wrong damn place. These scrubs always crawl out of the woodwork when a new dungeon pops." The man glared at them, saying, "That one's a real looker, straight S-rank rare drop material." These were the Shadow Brothers, the eldest, the second, and the third brother. The eldest said, "Perfect first catch for the hidden dungeon," while the others thought of doing worse to Nirvana. The man said, "Let's hunt." These were adventurer hunters, rogues who emerged whenever a new dungeon was discovered, looting gear and supplies from legitimate explorers to sell on the black market. The most infamous among them, the Triple Shadow Brothers, were no ordinary thieves. They were masters of the assassin class, and even seasoned adventurers stood no chance against their ambushes from the darkness. As the couple mapped out the hidden dungeon's first floor, someone said, "Bro, these lovebirds are pissing me off. Look at them already." The Shadow Brothers used a skill called Shadow Drive to hide in the ground. The eldest brother said, "Stay sharp. We do this like any other job." The third brother, the fattest, said, "A true lion hunts even rabbits with full force." The cat-looking middle brother said, Yeah, we'll pull that dude, but the chick looks fun. Hope she lasts a while." The eldest brother said, "I'm going to enjoy this." As they moved closer, they thought, we are creatures of the shadow. We could never be the heroes who save the world, but our ultimate technique thrives in the darkness. Man or monster, all alike shall fall before this blade. Using their assassin's secret technique, Dark Triathlon, they attacked, but Nirvana knocked all three out with a single blow. She was so fast it looked like she cloned herself. The eldest brother, nearly knocked out cold, couldn't understand what happened, his hair and head spinning. Nirvana's death glare said, "Next time I see your faces, you will die." This was enough for the three brothers, 2 men and 1 cat-like figure. That day, the infamous Triple Shadow Brothers, feared adventurer hunters, retired from their trade without a sound. Ryouta, unaware, said, "You look tired. Let's grab a bite in the hall up ahead." She glanced behind, thinking, adventurer hunters? Seriously? At this place? Can't believe trash like that even made it into town. Gotta wrap this up fast so I can get back to my lovey-dovey life with Ryouta. Suddenly, a level 50 wind beast appeared. She was scared. It was a bad situation, a sudden encounter, a pincer attack. Dungeons worked differently from the outside world. Sometimes you were forced into encounters with monsters, whether you liked it or not. She thought, they closed the gap that much in the instant I was focused on the adventurer hunters. This is a hidden dungeon, after all. Though it's a monster of decent strength, if I get serious, taking it down would probably be child's play. She remembered Ryuta's promise to protect her. But I've already gotten more love than I deserve. If Ryouta finds out about my power, it will just cause problems. Ryouta looked toward the beast, yelling, "Stay behind me." She blushed, saying, "He's protecting me again." As the beast almost got close to eating Ryouta, she thought she was distracted by how warm it felt, just half a second too slow to react. She was torn, thinking, "I will kill you," as she charged her fist. But then she noticed another presence. With one sword, the Holy Sword Balmung, the entire beast was cut in half by the Holy Emperor's Thunderblade. Nirvana and Utah were flustered by this skill. Someone stood atop the monster's head, saying, "Are you unharmed, commoners?" A woman, barely covered in clothes, appeared, making Utah's heart race. Nirvana thought, "A warrior? No, an advanced class combatant, a holy knight paladin." Utah was impressed, praising her, saying, "Wow, you're so strong." This sparked jealousy in Nirvana, who thought, "I'm stronger." The holy paladin said, "I'm just a trainee. I'm only level 51. Nirvana snorted, but Utah was blushing and excited, saying, "Level 51? No way, that's so amazing." Even the woman was flustered by his praise. "You're embarrassing me," she said. Nirvana complained, taking Utah's name because she was level 99. Utah asked, "Knight, what's your name?" She replied, "It doesn't merit introductions, but it would be rude not to. I am a Royal Guard Knight, Vice Commander of the Silver Wing Order, Draco Vermilion." Nirvana thought, these were the same cowards who slipped away during the Demon Lord's fight. Utah, however, thought, "The Royal Knights? So cool, and you're level 51. Nirvana murmured, "Level 51. Utah, hearing everything, said, "Level 51 is incredible, Draco." Draco replied, "I'm still unworthy." Utah said, "You might even be able to take down the Demon Lord. If I had the chance, I'd love to test my strength against him too." She responded, and Utah turned to Nirvana, saying, "Isn't that right, Nirvana?" She was speechless, saying, "Yeah, sure," flustered and embarrassed, thinking, "Well, I am level 99, you know."